All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I want to be sure that we are having the right audio for the program, and I wanted to go ahead and share this particular broadcast with as many parents or intended parents or grandparents that are on your social network. We want to talk today about the danger of unsupervised technology. I have actually mentioned this before, and the reason why we're having this particular program is because it wearies me and it bothers me a lot to see that we are doing so much for the adult in terms of opening their eyes, and we are not doing so much for the children in terms of building them up. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and I told him that, do you know that the culture of elders are always right is one of the main reasons why we find ourselves in this position we are here today in this part of Africa? Because we have forgotten that Yoruba says, "Rìndìnrìndì ò ń báni lágbà, àti kékeré ló ti ń báni lọ," which means that you don't become foolish all of a sudden when you are old. Yes, a very foolish and stupid young person grow up to be a foolish and stupid elder. But then we have been trapped to think that elders are always right. So we are propelled and compelled to take their opinion as that is it. But this set of children that are not well trained or well brought up or well guarded as little children will eventually grow up to become adult, and they will be occupying vacuum of leadership. They will become senator tomorrow. They will become president. They will become husband. They will become wives. They will become someone in life. And then the quality of parenting we have given to them while they are young has a lot to do with the way they think and they formulate policy that is going to help the nation in which they are governing. And bulk of this thing lies on the women, the mothers at home. Although I always say that, parenting should be two-sided. Either you are a single parent, make sure there is a father figure for your child. Either you are a single father, make sure there is a mother figure for your child, because there is a reason why God created them male and female. It takes two people to make a family balance, which means male and female. So when they proactively are exposed to the mentality of both gender, there is possibility for them to get it right at the end of the day. But what if they are being exposed to the mentality of genders who do not care about them or even are well parented by themselves? How do we solve that equation? So today, one of the things we want to take a look is the unsupervised technology. I've mentioned this before in some series of intentional parenting that I've written about and also spoken about. But I felt that this high time we take the bull by the horn by talking about this thing intentionally also on this platform. And I said, well, what if we do this every Wednesday? When we do this every Wednesday, parents can get to ask questions. You can get to call in. We can get to rub minds together. One thing I want you to understand is that you might have done everything right as a parent in terms of provision and also in terms of showing care, attention to your word. And then you can still lose them. You can still lose them. In the era of technological advancement and exposure, there is more content that your children are ingesting and consuming per day than you were getting to be exposed to at their own age while growing up. The average child in America right now go through more than 15,000 words per day. And they can do this within nanoseconds and just get it done, and that's all. But in our days, information was scarce. And the little information we got, we are able to manage it very well. We are able to maximize them. And those information, we got them through strict supervision. So our parents always know, you can't read this, you can't read that. I don't want to see you there, I don't want to see you there. But we often these days just leave our children at the disposition of technology. Technology advancement has actually made us become less proactive because some of us even leave our children to be parented by Google. So many children get to go on Google to search for most questions that they are supposed to be asking their parents about. And we felt, okay, Google is your friend, Google is your friend. We say this slang and unconsciously, it actually crept into our subconscious mind. And sometimes some parents, I've seen parents whose children ask questions and they ask them, go and search Google. And the school, the academic format of studying right now are well attached to the internet and technology. Most times, a teacher will give your child an assignment to do, and then they will even give you an hint that you could search it up on Google. Sometimes you as a parent, trying to hustle for money, making sure that you put food on the table, you tell the children to go search for it on Google and get the information. But do you know that while they're trying to get the information they need, there is possibility that they could bump into several other information that might ruin their life. Although internet is very good, technology is very good, but if it is not well guarded, it is very, very easy to lose your child in the process of saying, I want to expose them to technology. There was a time, I've mentioned this before, there was a time that I was big time into Bitcoin and all of those things. And I realized that Bitcoin actually is what is making terrorism thrive in this modern age. It is possible for someone to tell you to create a wallet and they put some amount of Bitcoin in it and tell you to cash it out. And these men are also online. They lure your children via money, via everything that has to do with leisure and pleasure. This is how it is easy for someone in Syria to lure a child out of UK and say, come over, I want to show you what paradise means. And some of them are being sent on some errands without them knowing. And this internet, what do I call that? How do I really categorize this man who does this thing online? This internet wicked posts also, they create some sense of independence in your children that they cannot manage. I was talking to a lawyer recently, and the lawyer was telling me about a certain man who would always chat this it's even a boy, chat him, told him that he lives in France and all of those things, lured the boy to France. And you know the white folks can be so independent and all that. Lure the boy to France and then rape the boy and kill the boy. And as a matter of fact, this man was actually living in UK with them. He lives in London. So he wanted to use France as his own platform of evil. So after luring the boy from UK to France, raped the boy, that's homosexuality, right? Raped the boy, killed the boy. He put up a call. When he put up a call for policemen to come around the house, he traveled back to England. I don't know how they are able to trace the man. They caught him red-handed. So they began to look for how did this relationship started. And the mother began to say, okay, all of a sudden, this boy had began to develop an unexplained interest with his computer. He's always behind his computer. He's not talking to anybody. Sometimes he can lock himself up in the room. He would not eat. He would when they call him to come for dinner, he's going to go. He will not go. He's so addicted to his computer. And then she said that we also took the computer away from the boy. But it was after his death that they ransacked the room of the boy and realized that this man sent him money to buy another secret computer and keep in the house just for them to keep communicating. Now, our children are being exposed to so many of these dangerous people online every single day. And we do not know. Some of them don't have their own mobile device right now. They use your own mobile device without you knowing to perpetrate those evil, and you don't know. I've seen parents who have been picked up by policemen before for doing transactions that they know nothing about. Their child was doing the transaction with the parents' phone without their consent. And you will bear me witness, as most of you who are parents of this age, you hardly know most of the functions that is on your phone. And these children, they know them very fast. There are some icons you see on your phone that doesn't look very harmful. But if these children maximize the potential of those things, you realize that it goes a long way. And in this era of developing app for virtually everything, they get to launder some things. You see, you must be technologically savvy in this age for you to meet up with these children. You must also ensure that you know the nook and cranny of their browsing history. There is a way you can get a browser history. When you go to that place, you put your www. The number of sites that they have explored over the time, you can get it out. And don't forget that these children are now becoming smart. They often clear browser history. There are some softwares and applications you can install on all the system in your home and even on their phone, that irrespective of whatever they clear, this system are going to log all their actions, everything they have done online so far, and you will be able to reckon with it. I was talking to someone in Pakistan the other day, and the man was telling me that, okay, there is a particular software that they developed in their company. The software is going to make sure that every notification on your phone, everything that come as a notification on your phone is being logged in that particular software. Although it is very dangerous because the company will be having access to your own information, but it is better when you install it on the phone of your children. They don't need to know. As a matter of fact, they don't need to know. They don't need to know that the application is there. All you want to do is to make sure that this application is there for your own. On weekend basis, you can just pick their phone and you don't need to go to their WhatsApp. And it doesn't matter if they delete messages. I have the application on my phone. You can reach out to me on my inbox to get the name of this application. Yes, I have the application on my phone. You know, when you delete WhatsApp messages and it writes, this message has been deleted, that particular application I'm talking to you about can actually capture the message that was deleted and even tell you that the message was deleted. So the era of, what did you delete? Why did you delete it? Has gone. You don't need to argue with the person. Just go to that software and it will give you the log of what the person typed and what the person deleted. There is a need for you to be technologically advanced, even more than your children. And then the issue of social media that they are opening everywhere right now. Social media is becoming dangerous than what we think. Although it has its own good side, but it also has a lot of bad side. Your children are being exposed to homosexual folks. Your daughters have been exposed to perverts who are ready to launder them, and you know the way they can get their attention. That's why I said, in your family, there is a need for you and your spouse, or even you, if you are a single parent, to sit down and agree at what age can we allow our children to own a phone. I cannot tell you this age is a particular age because the maturity of these children differs. But you know your children. You know how old they are. You know how sharp they are. At what age can I expose these children to mobile phone? And if I expose the children to mobile phone, what are the sites that they can visit? How technologically advanced are you or savvy are you to be able to block out some site on their phone before you give it to them? And when they outsmart you by unblocking those sites, how can you monitor them? Another friend of mine was telling me how you can actually eavesdrop on your children's conversation online. All you have to do is to set up that particular software in such a way that all of their recording, all of their phone call will be storing in your own, either your cloud drive or maybe your Google Drive. There is Google Drive. It's pretty easy. It's even more easier when you buy your children Android phone than iPhone. iPhone has a lot of, you need to be very smart to be able to use, but Android phone, you can, a very novice person can operate it. There is a way you can do it in such a way that whenever they pick a call without their own awareness, it is being recorded in your own Google Drive. So all you get is a message of an audio and you listen to it. See, we are not trying to choke their lives, but the world is coming to an end. And we must be as wise as serpents. The scripture says that the children of this world are wise. Now, what we are trying to do now is to block them from unnecessary exposure to evil that is paramount and prevalent online these days. So when you do all these things, so long they are yet to reach the age of 18, as parents, you are requested or required to do and undo just to make sure that they have a good life. Just to make sure that they have a good life. When is the age that they are right and ripe enough to own a Facebook account, to own an Instagram account? You go to Instagram these days, you see young children as low as age 14, 16, going live on Instagram with G-string and twerking. And I keep wondering, these ones must also have parents. They must also have parents. And there's one rule I wanted to put down in your family when it comes to social media. Ensure that your children do not buy that idea of changing their name online. Because these children are outsmarting you by the day. Okay, you want to check me, you want to follow me. What they do is they create a Facebook account or whatever account on the name that you know them by. And they go ahead to also tweak the name in such a way that you will never be able to find them out. So a child that want to spell Bisola now is spelling Bisola as Beesorlar. Beesorlar. To you, you're looking for Bisola, but they have outsmart you. They have changed the Bisola spelling. So if you search for your own Bisola till tomorrow, you won't find them. Why do I say this? As old as I am, my mother is on Facebook and she keeps tab on me. In fact, she opened Instagram and every other social media just to make sure that she keeps tab on all of us. We are grown enough, she's got grandchildren from us and all that, but she cannot risk it. So sometimes when I put some things online, as old as I am, she still tell me, oh, few pay, oh, we're out of proportion. Don't you think this is out of proportion? And the rule is that you must not have two accounts in the family. As old as I am, there are some things I keep hearing my mother saying when I was little that still ring in my head till today. So it's all about communication. What do you talk about when this is my children, what are we talking about? What do we say? What do we say? And if you think that they must attain a certain age before you begin to talk to them about some certain things, you are the one that is destroying their lives. Because from the age of 1 to 10 is their formative age. They are assimilating and personalizing every information they are getting from you as their parent. As little as 4-year-old, I could hear my mother telling me that if you marry 2 wives, I'm going to curse you with my 2 breasts. Is that funny? I don't understand what she was saying. Like, even as a then, I don't get what she was saying. So even as an adult who is very young and all that, it's pretty difficult for me to start keeping 2 girlfriends at the same time, because this thing is in my head. The woman program my head to be so. So most of you are going to be saying that, okay, I can't tell my children this. When am I supposed to tell them? Somebody is supposed to be responsible in telling them. No, nobody can parent your children the way you can parent them. Nobody can parent your children the way you can parent them. And you know what you will tell your children, and they will find it so accommodating. If any other person tell them that same word, they will find it offensive. So that's the reason why I said this program is for both intended parents, on-duty parents who are parenting correctly, even grandparents, and even single parents, and those who don't want to be parents at all. So the idea of trying to tell your mother to help you tell your children some particular information is a foul. The idea of waiting that your children will learn some things in school, or they will learn when they go to church or mosque, is messing up their life. But let's streamline it to today. Today's program is plainly on the danger of unsupervised technology. I was pastoring some set of teenagers some times ago, and then one day I decided to start a series with them. I normally do series per month, and I was talking to them about the social influence, how it can make them or mar them. And we started talking about this particular son of David. I think his name is Amnon. Yeah, is he? Yeah, Amnon. Yeah, the one who raped his sister. And then a friend who is also a cousin put that idea in his head to sleep with his sister. Now, it was that same friend who went to break the news and told the father that the king not need to worry. It was only Amnon that died. So we were talking. And that day was meant to be the ending of, it was a 4-week training for them. Every Sunday I go there to tell them, train them. And that week was the end of it. And I told them that today, I don't know how many of you have been socially influenced by your friends and how you are struggling with a lot of things and all that. I want us to meet together after the whole thing. And one boy came to me and told me that he's been struggling with a steroid level of masturbation. He was talking to me. And why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because he got into that web because of unsupervised technology. The mother of this boy happens to be one of the deacons in that church. So the boy told me that one day when he was just about 12, I think 11, they gave him an assignment in school. Came home, he needed some information. So he took his mother's phone and wanted to get the information. But while he was trying to get the information, something popped up. You know the way they do advertisement on Google, AdSense and all that. Said where he was getting the information, something popped up. So he saw a particular advert of a man and a woman. They were having sexual intercourse. It was strange to him. He said at that time, he wanted to call his mother to help him take it off. But the mother just told him, shut him up and say, don't disturb me, I'm giving you the phone you need and all that. So mistakenly, he clicked on that particular pop-up message, and then the message took him to a porn site, and that is how he got hooked. And it was explained to me that when he first started watching porn, he doesn't know anything about sex, and he started watching the porn of man and woman having sex with one another. This is a very censored program. Your children don't need to hear this one. You can keep it within yourself. They were having sex with one another. So he started masturbating and then using anything that could not hurt his flesh. Started masturbating. So from there, he started noticing that he doesn't have fulfillment again. That was age 11 boy. That was as a then. He couldn't have sexual satisfaction again just watching a porn of a man and a woman sleeping on one another. So he started exploring of a man and a woman sleeping with one another from the back. And then from there, he started exploring the porn of man and woman sleeping with each other from the anus. And then he started looking for another thing that is higher than that, because this thing, you graduate from these things. All this while, he was using his mother's phone. The mother was looking at a child that is diligent and is always doing assignment, who needed Google to help him. But this is a boy that is struggling with masturbation. So he said at a point, he started looking for, he started giving me so many terms of this pornography, you know, MILF. MILF, he said that is mothers are like to, you know, the F word. Mothers are like to, you know, the F word. That is when they are having porn with women who are way older, when a young person is having sex with women who are way older. And then he spoke to me about one. They said PAWG. That's pork. He said fat ass women or girls. Fat ass women or girls. He was giving me so many terminologies, and you know, I'm a professional in this thing, so I was telling him, okay, I understand that, but I don't understand anything from what he was saying. I needed to go and make confirmation later. And he said at a point he graduated into looking for a porn that has to do with forceful sex. Forceful sex where an elderly person is forcefully having sex with a younger person. And then he said he went to a point whereby he started exploring the sexual intercourse between a man and a transgender. Yes, a transgender. He now told me that his problem now is the fact that he is not homosexual. He cannot allow a man to have sex with him. Neither does he have sexual affinity or affection for a woman. He only can have sex with himself. He only loves to have sex with himself. And he said what he's struggling right now is what they call milking. Milking, I said, what is milking? And he said, milking is actually a situation whereby you derive sexual intercourse from direct manipulation or massage of your prostate gland. I've written about this before, and I've also spoken about before. I'm just bringing you up to date. And I said, okay, how does this thing work? And the young boy was telling me that he stumbled on a particular porn whereby a man is having sex with another man who has a penis. This is an adult program, right? Who has a penis and also have a breast. And he realized that some of them, they don't need to have erection before they could ejaculate and all that. He said they called it milking. And sometimes women also practice milking on their men. At that point, I was lost already. This is a 14-year-old boy. When he was talking to me, he's already 14, but he started the masturbation when he was 11. And his mother is giving praise to the Lord, sharing testimony of how God has been good in the life of this boy in the congregation. She's a deaconess. And I said, okay, what do you think we can do now? He said he felt like he's in bondage because he doesn't feel sexually attracted to a woman, neither a man. He just wants to have sex with himself, and he's struggling with milking. And he said the milking is also affecting his own health in terms of the fact that he could not control his poo, or when he wants to, fart, he's always dropping liquid from behind. And I'm like, okay. So I went to make a research on this milking, and I realized that it is actually an old way of treating prostate enlargement in the old China world. So the Chinese physician came up with that methodology of saying, okay, an increased prostate gland need you to, have a lot of contraction many times so that it can come back to normal. So you can always achieve the maximum level of orgasm through your penis shaft having that stimulation. So they use the hand to massage the prostate gland. So you could see a man going for a treatment having to ejaculate for maybe 5 times a day. That's why you see that doctors prescribe for men to have sex as much as possible to avoid the risk of prostate cancer. So as time goes on, people now started, even people that doesn't have prostate enlargement or prostate cancer, started going for that kind of treatment. And before you know, they started devising, human being now, devising a means of, okay, if I don't want to pay for this, how can I get it done? Then men began to use their penis on another man's penis. Then it went to the West and it became, everything became messed up. And this particular sexual act is now being known as milking for our children right now, just because of one day of unsupervised technology. Now, you are listening to me right here, right now, but you do not know what your children, your sons and daughters are doing at the back of the house when they are alone. Especially those ones who are seen as an introvert, the guarded ones who have an introvert personality, who are very reserved and conservative. Those ones, you must be very wary of those ones very well. Because the truth of the matter is an idol and is devil's workshop. Not to talk of idle mind. There are a lot of things that gentle people and quiet people process in their mind that an outgoing and extrovert child does not have time. Not because he cannot, but he doesn't have time to brood about those things. But because the introvert children have time to brood about them, they are able to devise several means of outwitting you. Now, don't be upset. Don't get angry. Don't get scared that maybe your children is practicing this thing or not. I wrote an article a few days ago and I told you about a certain research that I made with 15 families, and only 2 of them came back with a good news. This is what we said to do for these children. We asked that I told the mothers, especially the mothers, the women are the ones that are always concerned about the children, by the way, they have the time. I told them there are several spy cameras now that might not be more than this, very small stuff. Let them go to school and plant one in their room. Most of these spy cameras can also be monitored with your mobile phone. So when you install the spy camera, you might go on Jumia to go and order this thing, either Jumia Nigeria or Jumia Global or Jumia International. Order a spy camera, very small one. Put it at every corner of your house, in their room also, when they are not there and in a place they do not suspect. And you go to work and relax. Just monitor that spy camera from your phone and let's check out what they are doing when you are not there. You cannot be sure yet that you have not failed in parenting just because your child married as a virgin. As a matter of fact, there are so many young girls nowadays who, in the course of trying to protect their virginity, are already having anal sex. So in order to protect the main hymen, the virginity, they opt for anal sex. So their husband marries them and then say, he met a virgin. And they also want to make you happy. So these children are devising means out of these things. But how do they get to know all these things? Which means is this information filtering in them? Technology, internet, Google, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can obviously find every form of wickedness of man's mind on the internet these days. And these children are there. You see, for every of the Wi-Fi you have in your home, there is a setting you can give to your Wi-Fi. Just that most of us don't really read manuals when we buy this technological equipment. There is a way you can set your Wi-Fi in such a way that some website will not load on your Wi-Fi. Some website. But how many times have you checked your Wi-Fi setting on your computer? How many times have you taken time to go to the computer to check your Wi-Fi setting, to check your data usage, to check the most visited site that your children visit when you are not there, so that you will know what they are addicted to and the set of people that use that kind of site? So it is not only sexuality that can be perverse through unsupervised technology. Their mentality can also be debased through that. There are a lot of strange doctrines online these days that your children have been exposed to. Some are saying there is no God, some are saying God is a woman, some are saying Holy Mary is a man and all that. They are ingesting those information. And it's like a seed. When it's planted in their heart, it begins to germinate. That's the funny thing. And they have a lot of questions to ask you. But because you are not available, they go online to go and ask for questions. And, it's like going online and saying, I'm having a headache every night. Google will diagnose you to have HIV if care is not taken. So when you have problem, it's best advice that you don't go and ask Google. Google is not your friend, especially when it comes to your children and your health. It's never your friend. So what I'm trying to drive home is that you must be involved in every technology advancement that your children have been introduced to. You must be involved. Their mobile phone, you must know the in and out of the mobile phone. Especially if you are giving them a mobile phone that has internet enablement. Internet enablement. There is an age for you to buy a phone that doesn't have internet for your children. There is an age for you to buy phones that doesn't have too much internet access. There is an age for them to begin to use the phone that have internet access. You can never be too busy to check on these children. You can never be too busy. Okay, what is the case of that young boy eventually? By the time we got to know, I tried to establish communication between him and his mother, for the mother to know that don't be angry, but your child is suffering from so and so. By the time we took the boy to the hospital to even go and check his rectum and his anal out, he is already having cancer there. Because several times out of the sexual urge, he has actually injured the lining in his anus. And when this lining is being hurt or being torn apart, it is easy for bacteria to flow into their bloodstreams. So it is not only about data usage. Some of you, the only reason why you shout on your children for staying on phone is because of the data they are using. There are so many softwares that they can install that help them bypass even telecommunication companies right now. Do you know about cheating? They have a lot of cheats that they install on their phone that gives them free internet access. And there are so many young men around your house or so many family around your house that your children have hacked into their Wi-Fi. So if you say they cannot browse with your own Wi-Fi, what if they have hacked into another person's Wi-Fi and are using it? These are the things you need to put into consideration. Your children are still in secondary school. You have already introduced them to smartphones. There must be a central computer at home, which everybody come to. Whatever you need, come on. This is the central computer. This is the family computer. See, this is not I'm not trying to say, okay, the fact is that we can't train our children up the way white people are training their children up. You already can see the effect of their own training on their children. You can already see it, right? You already see how their children turn up. So we don't want to train our children that way. You can't afford to say, I want to gift you something and you buy him or her, a secondary school child, a laptop as a way of saying, I appreciate your good work in school rather. It doesn't work that way. You're just introducing them to their destruction gradually, because the havoc they can wreak with that computer, even you cannot begin to imagine it. So there's a lot of danger online, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. If you do not supervise the usage of internet or technology by your children, it boils down to, the masturbation, sexual aspect of it, illicit relationship, even terrorism, which is most rampant. The easiest way for these children to get money online right now is terrorism. All they need to do is to be brainwashed. They will be indoctrinated by those strange and anonymous friends. I can't come online today, I don't have data. These people send you data. How much is maybe $50 and all that? Unlimited data. Let's keep talking. And these children, especially the female ones, are being victimized. They are being victimized by these unidentified persons. Having spoken to them, talked to them, sweet-tongued them, showed them strange love, sometimes they ask these children to go naked for them. So the moment the children go naked, they seize it. When they get the picture, they use it to threaten your child. So sometimes your children are not going online because they want to or they wish to, but because they have something to protect. There's something at stake. That's why you see them online. So it's the other person that dictates to them and tell them, you must come online today. And they must come. If you don't want me to leak this picture, you must come online today. And it doesn't have to do with someone from a strange land alone. You must also be able to tell them and let them know that as you grow old, you don't send nude picture to any boyfriend anywhere. You don't try it. It is an aberration. There's a particular state in America that passed it into law recently that it is even a crime in their state for you to exchange nude pictures. You know how many female children have committed suicide? You hear young people, you read about young people online committing suicide, women committing suicide every now and then. You think it's about depression. What is the cause of the depression? Some of them have been held hostage against their will, against their wish. In the process of trusting a stranger over the internet, they have exchanged some nude pictures with their face on it, and that one is threatening them, telling them, I'm going to leak this, I'm going to leak that, and that's what we got. And how are you sure that your child face performing sexual act on himself or herself is not on Pornhub? Because they also use that one as a way of getting rich quickly right now. Yeah. Pornhub offers you thousands of dollars for uploading just a few minutes of pornographic act, illicit act. And the more crazy you can, the more money you get. So some children will tell you never to worry about their finance. They are taking care of themselves. And the younger you are, the higher you are paid in that particular site from all researches that I've gathered. So sometimes you want to break boundary, so you go to the beach to go and have sex. Some of these children whose parents hired a driver for them are begging the drivers now to have sex with them in the boot of the car, on the bonnet of the car. They upload it on Pornhub to get money. Things have gone beyond what you think. That's why I'm saying that, please, if you will not supervise that technological device that you are giving to your children, do not introduce them to it at all. And under no circumstances must you allow them to go online without supervising them at the age that they are still considered as minors. So there is a lot of things at stake when it comes to technology. And we don't want to have our children dying on us because someone is holding them hostage or someone is indoctrinating them into a certain religion or telling them to embrace terrorism or performing sexual act on themselves. That's why it is very not advisable for you to buy. How do I say this without offending some people? The people that put TV in the rooms of their children. Because you might think it's something that has to do with computer and phone alone. No. I read of a boy who killed himself because a soccer team lost. As in, because, people that knows football, they watch football, this Man Manchester and all that. I don't know football really. Because his team lost and is so addicted to the TV in the room, he killed himself. I've seen a man who threw his wife from upstairs down just because his team lost. And so also, the undue exposure of your children to this particular TV series that is so common. What's the name? It's Asian TV series. Z-World. Did you see a particular Hausa little girl on Facebook recently who was crying so sorrowfully because maybe her favorite actor or actress died in the movie? I don't know that movie. I don't watch it. I don't even like to hear it, but I know women watch it a lot. And these children are getting addicted to lies, fictional stories, things that never existed. And they are becoming heartbroken. They are going through emotional damages because of undue and unsupervised exposure to media. I don't want to put TV in my children's room. There must be a TV time in our home, in our family. And this TV time, we have a TV in the room, in the parlor. My wife could have a TV in her room. I could have a TV in my room because I can control myself now. But until my children get to the age of being able to take responsibility for their lives, I will train them that come as early as 8 o'clock, a good child should be on bed. Having studied, having eaten well, having tasked your brain, you should be on bed at social time. It's not the time for you to be pressing phone or be watching TV. But how do I tell you to stop watching TV when I put TV in your room? What if you wake up in the middle of the night and put it on? And so many of them are making some strange friends via the TV, especially in the age where TV now comes with camera. Those TVs that come with web camera and internet access, you see, they call them smart TV. See, they are not rendering your children smarter. They are rendering them useless. Smart TV, your children can actually use remote to maneuver a YouTube on their TV that has internet access. Some of them can use remote control to activate the camera on their TV, and then before you know, they begin to do whatever exposure they want to do and all that, making conference call. So I strongly discourage the installation of private TV in their room when they are still minor. In fact, at the teenage, before they begin to say, I'm going to high school or university, you can't have it. I'm sorry, you can't have it. So whatever training I've given to you at age 0 to the age where you'll be leaving my house to go to university, if I allow you to go and stay in a boarding school, because I don't see the reason why the university is in my state, in my city, and I now tell you to stay in the hostel. Which hostel? Which hostel? You will, by my eyes, go to school and by my eyes come back. But whatever training I've given to you from age 0 to the whatever age you want to move out should be enough. Because as early as a little boy, even before my own preteen age, I keep hearing my mother that if you drink alcohol, you might not have savings and you might not excel. I don't know what gave her that formulation in her head about alcohol. Until today, I hear her voice in my head. I have never been intrigued by the consumption of alcohol before. I have never been tempted by it before. I've never been attracted to alcohol before. I don't even, in fact, if you are drinking alcohol by my side, I'm the one that will be vomiting. She created that hatred in me. No matter how sweet talk you can be, I don't know if you are Jesus Christ of Nazareth. You can't give me alcohol. You cannot. There was a certain family in the scripture. God wanted to teach the children of Israel a very good message, and he told them, go and call for them, offer them alcohol. When they offered them alcohol, they said, our forefathers told us we can't do this. Home training. Whatever you teach them while they are little, grow with them. Grow with them. Let it be a battle of peer pressure. Let it be a battle of peer pressure. Make sure that your own children are well trained, well equipped. So much so that wherever they get in the middle of darkness, they shine their light. So the highest pressure win the battle. The highest pressure will eventually win the battle. Let's see if the dark pressure or the light pressure will win the battle. The way she was telling me then that you must not marry 2 wives and then stick to my head is the same she was telling me about alcohol. And there's a song my mother used to sing, that a place where you are not going to sleep overnight, don't allow yourself to stay there till 8 p.m. in the night. A place where you are not going to stay overnight, don't allow yourself to stay there till 8 p.m. in the night, is still ringing in my head today. It created a strange phobia for me. I don't travel in the night. In fact, when night begin to fall, I'm already trying to see how I can make it home. Home training, intentional parenting. My father was not there. It was a woman that trained me. So many people ask me many times that, the things you do, I want to be spiritual like you, I want to be disciplined like you. I said, most of the things I do. In fact, 80% of my life discipline and policy is not gotten because I read Quran or I read Bible. It was because I had a good mother who invested her time to train me. She was intentional. She needed to create a great man out of this little boy. She was intentional. She monitored everything. She was ready. And she gave me the due punishment that I deserve every single time. I remember when I was outgrowing the age of being beaten. And my mother noticed that when I beat this boy, it doesn't affect him anymore. He's just looking at me. She changed my school from our immediate town into another town that is many kilometers away. So whenever I offend her, she won't give me transport fee. So I use my leg to walk kilometers to school because I'm the class captain. They don't teach me to come and prostrate before her after 2 or 3 days and say, please forgive me. So when I offend her, she will tell me, your mother, the mother that can talk to you and you obey, go and collect it from them. I'm not saying that training is viable today, because so many of those children, if you deprive them of food or whatever, there is someone outside who is ready to offer it to them and destroy their lives. But that was a training that was applicable to my life then. What training is applicable to your life? That's why we call the program intentional parenting. What training is applicable to the life of it? What training would you think will be applicable and will help your children be a better person? You are their mother, you are their father. You should be able to study them. You know how it hurt them. Some children don't need you to cane them. Some children just need you to talk to them. Some children don't need you to just talk to them. They need you to shout at them. Some children don't need you to shout or talk to them. Some children just need you to deprive them of some things. You know the gauge of your children. So you must be able to assert the right discipline per time. But when it comes to technology, make sure that you don't introduce them to technology that you are not ready to supervise. I don't know if you want to call into the program, but the WhatsApp number to call into is 08078384845. As I begin to round up, 08078384845. That is a WhatsApp number that you can use to call in to the program. And if you have a suggestion or you want to hear your view, you can use that WhatsApp number to call in, and we can also hear from you, because no man is an island of knowledge. So I'm pinning it down now. Okay, someone already helped me to pin it, to put it there. So 08078384845. If you want to call in on WhatsApp alone, and you just want to give your own contribution to the program today, and let's hear from you also. At what age do you think is normal to leave the children with electronic gadgets that have internet access without supervising them? And in the age whereby you hardly can do anything without getting information from online. In fact, schools recommend that you can use Google to do this one, to do that one. How often do you go to that Google with them? And what are you putting in place? You could consult so many IT professionals on what I'm saying right now. There's going to be a free advert for these people if I keep coming here to publicize their application for you and all that. You can consult any IT expert around you. Tell them that you need to be able to get a log of your children's computer, if you have bought them one already, or their phone. You want to know whatever they do on their phone. You want to record their conversation and also know the sites that they are going to. They will be able to help you configure something that will help you. You just put it to test. It might be very heartbreaking for you to realize that that child you have always trusted, the child that you believe is perfect and is easygoing, is a dangerous person. And the truth of the matter is, you must be ready to melt every of their action with consequences that is fitting to it. There is nothing like, okay, there's nothing we can do about it. There is something you can do about it. There is something you can do about it. If you know they are abusing the technology devices that you have given to them, there is nothing bad in withdrawing it from them today. And see, let me say something. It is not necessary that they are actually doing masturbation or meeting bad people online. Sometimes when children begin to spend too much time with a technology device, know that the stuff is not normal anymore. You must learn to revoke it from them. Some children plug earphone on their head from morning till night. What you don't know is that you are still going to spend more money on their hearing at the end of the day. They are in the bathroom, they plug earphone, they are everywhere, they plug earphone. You call them, they don't answer because they are somewhere else. And do you know what? This technology gradually detach their emotion from you. And their emotion need to be on you because you need to feed them the right content in their formative age. So there must be numbers of hours that you have actually say, okay, in this family, this is the numbers of hours that you can use on phone. at the clock of 8 p.m. in the night, everybody, you submit your phone there. Do you get that point? You can put a rule down. You submit your phone in this place until you come back from school the following day, you don't pick that phone. Put a gauge on it. Don't let them become addicted to this thing. Sometimes when they listen to music for so long and they don't, you can also revoke it from them. Let them know that life is about living. There are places you don't bring phones to. You don't take phone to church if you are going to church. You don't bring phone to the parlor when we are having fellowship. You don't press phone when someone is talking to you. You don't bring your phone to the dining set. You don't take phone to the bathroom. To the bathroom. You don't take phone to the bathroom. Just let's take this assignment out of today's broadcast. Order for a good, in fact, not one, as many as possible, spy cameras. And do you know the reason why they call it spy? Because we don't want them to know. They must not know that there is a camera at home, because they know they can change. They will adjust. The moment they know that they are being monitored, the moment these children know that they are being monitored and being spied, they change. So you don't want them to know. And you don't have to do it immediately. Maybe in the next holiday, tell them to go spend holiday with granny and wire the whole house. It's your abode. It's your room. You pay for it. They are still under your roof. So whatever goes down there must be under your supervision. Especially most of you that parent your children through your house help. We're going to be discussing that maybe in the next week on this platform. You want to know what goes on in your house and in your room, in their room also. So there's nothing like I need my privacy. Privacy for where? You will own privacy when you begin to pay for it. As long as you are under my roof, I dictate your privacy. So we don't want them to know. That's the assignment I want us to take out from here. Number 2 assignment today is that we want to consult as many IT consultants as possible who can help us to bug their phone, to know the activity of what they are posting, and whoever is sending them messages, either they delete it or not. But if you really want to know the name of that particular app that you can install on their phone to check those things, you can just send me a message and request for it. I'll give you the name personally. You can go to Play Store and find it and download it. When you want to download it, make sure that put up a case, seize the phone, and get the phone, download it on the phone, give it back to them. And make sure that you hide the icon. You know what we call icons? These are icons. I don't know if you can see that. These are icons. So whenever you download something, icons that represent that application comes on their own page. It comes on their own page. You know what you have to do when you download the icon? All you have to do is just to move the icon, press it down very well, move it up, you will see remove. Then you remove it. The moment you put it here, it has been removed. So when you give the phone back to them, they do not know that you have installed anything because they are not seeing new icons there. You can also switch to the side. You could have these different windows for your stuff. Make sure it's not hiding anywhere here. So many times they hardly go to the settings to go and be searching for what else has been downloaded. Sometimes because they are not the one who downloaded the application, they do not know that it is not a default application. They consider it as a default application, so they don't even bother to go through it or uninstall it. By weekend, tell them to borrow you their phone. Press the icon, download whatever they have done on the phone, and see what your children have been talking about on their WhatsApp. Let's start from there. When you get to break your heart on that level, then we move into spy camera. You will be marveled. You will be marveled the words that your children are exchanging, the pictures they are exchanging on WhatsApp, if you have actually exposed them to unsupervised technology usage before. My name is Greatman Ayilara. My passion is to raise a leader in my own order. Children who are bold, very confident, courageous, and who can ask questions. Children whom we can put in the place of power without getting scared that they will abuse it. Children who will go into public offices and see it as a way to serve humanity. And my greatest joy will be when you also help me and help the society to produce such children and release them into the world. This particular program is specially dedicated to our foster homes and shelters, Great Minds Foster Homes and Shelter. And we ask that you can become one of our sponsors to put that structure in place. And as we try to learn on how to help the ones that are under our roof, we are also trying to bring the ones on the street into this home, train them together with this mentality, this methodology. And the scripture says that train up a child in the way that he should go. Not take a child to church or take him to mosque. He said, train up a child you want in a way you want him to go. So it all depends on how you want them to turn out. How do you want these children to turn out? You are the one who dictate that. God wants you to train good children, but how good do you want them to become? It becomes your responsibility. So either your child turns out well or bad, it is still your own responsibility, and you are to be taken to the law court to be asked, how did you train up this child? Because either you like it or not, directly or indirectly, whatever these children become is solely dependent on you. And this is what I want to beg of you. Please, do not chase money to the point that you lose your children. Do not chase money. Do not be so professionally minded and career minded that you are not part of your children's life. Either you are a man or a woman. Children need two parents to survive, male and female. So if you are a young man watching me right now on this program today, and you intend to settle down, make sure that you only have sexual relation with someone you are ready to start a family with. Enough of single mothers. And if you're a young woman also, exercise self-control. The man who cannot become the father of your children have no right to have access to your body. We want to reduce this thing to barest minimum. And if you're already an on-duty parent, I wish you good luck. If you are a grandparent, it is not too late. You are not too old to give your children support to help train up their own children also. So it is not leaving you out to be technologically savvy and also inclined in helping these children. And till the next time we see again, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, where we'll be talking about intentional parenting and the things we need to do. I want you to know that you are the best parent any child could have. You are trying your best. Even though it is not good enough at some quarter, you can do better than this. I'm encouraging you today that although it can be very frustrating and so disappointing and so disheartening sometimes when these children go beyond what you are thinking of, but I'm saying it is worth it if you spend your life investing in them. Grace be with you now, and God bless you. Have a nice time now. Bye, 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 bye. All right.